Greetings, clobberers, and other friends out there who may just be joining me for the first time in one of my videos. This is Clobbering Times, Clobby'S Comics Corner, Spinnerack Time Machine, Short Trip, Superman 78. What a year. That's a big, long mouthful of a title there. If you have not joined me before, thank you. And if you have, good to see you, or good to be talking to you. This series of videos here on Clobbering Times is basically just always a little bit about a short trip through history. In this case, short comics history, as in the Bronze Age. My previous video on the short trips, Mrs. Spinnerack Time Machine, is also about, going back and looking at the new comics every week for the 50 years back in 1971. By the way, for those who don't know, that's a Spinnerack Time Machine regular series that I do twice a week. But the short trips videos are about just kind of doing a little piece of comic book history. Last week I did a Batman video, and I'm proud of. And this week, let's go with the granddaddy of them all, Superman, and let's talk about Superman's, in my opinion, his biggest year, 1978, 40th anniversary. I was but a wee lad of 14 years old. And what a year it was. What a year. Some of you may know, if you're a Superman fan and you keep up with anything going on current, there's a current comic book being produced right now. It's a series called Superman 78. And it deals with sort of being a comic book continuation of Richard Donner's great 1978 masterpiece, Superman the movie. And I have not read it yet, but it comes recommended by some, and I will probably read it soon. But it's out there. So that may be what some people think when they see this video and say, "Oh, he's reviewing Superman 78." Not exactly. Not exactly. What I'm talking about today is just a little bit of Superman history. Now, I happen to be, as I go on about in a lot of my short trips videos, a huge fans of Tomorrow's Publications. I love all of their comics history mags. I bought Jack Kirby Collector. I have every issue. I bought it since it first came out in the mid 90s. I've been buying it. I have every issue. I have a bunch of their books, of course, and a bunch of their mags, and I have every issue of Back Issue magazine. And I dearly love this mag. I highly recommend it. And especially if you're a fan of comics history, and if you're a Bronze Age baby like myself. Now, also, even if you're not, but you are, if you do happen to be a fan of the Christopher Reeve, Richard Donner Superman films, especially Superman the movie from 1978, I highly recommend this issue from 2018. This is for the 80th, obviously, anniversary of Superman. It is it is back issue number 109. I highly recommend it. It is a great mag, especially if you love reading up about the Donner Reeve Superman film. And films, it deals with the other ones as well, but it is, of course, basically a love letter to those. And I'm going to talk a little bit today about again, it's full of all kind of great info. And I don't do this to steal the thunder of Back Issue at all. I'm quite the contrary. I'm such a big fan and fanboy of their mags that I do this to tout it, to put the news out there that if you're a comics fan and a fan of history of comics, then you're missing out if you're not buying the Tomorrow's Publications, and especially if you're a Bronze Age baby, Back Issue magazine. And just to show you a little bit, I'm going to talk a little bit about a piece from that mag that it sort of deals with the timeline of what was available with regards to what was going on in Superman's life, basically around that period, and in the 70s in general, but of course in 1978, what a great year it was. Now, obviously, the film came out. I'm going to do a little bit of a rundown of some of the things that were available in 1978 if you were a Superman fan. And there was a lot, not compared to today, the way they would do it today with today's merchandising, but here's a basic timeline for 78 rundown in terms of things connected to the Superman comic book character, and a little bit to the movie character as well. But starting with the comic book character, here's just a few that they are. Well, here's sort of a timeline of the items that you would have been able to see and perhaps purchase. Starting with Pizza Hut. That's right, Pizza Hut, a Pizza Hut collector's edition tie-in reprints. In this case, Superman number 97, a Golden Age reprint. Again, how these were chosen, because it was also another one, Superman number 113. I don't know. I don't even know if they had anything to do with pizza. But shout out to mycomicshop.com for the pictures too, because they have a great website, and I highly recommend them if you're looking for back issues. But I'm not, like I say, I'm not shilling for back issue or Tomorrow's or anyone else. Just a big fan. In the Superman comic, I guess it was reported on in this as an event. The first appearance of the Atomic Skull. But here's a biggie right here. Superman versus Muhammad Ali on the wild world of Super DC Sports. This extraordinary Neil Adams wraparound cover with all the celebrities on it. There's even a chart inside to tell you who most of them are, who's who. But what a great comic. Yes, Superman versus Muhammad Ali was pretty wacky idea. Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams, of course, the great, legendary comic book team in their own right. An unlikely team up. I remember being just blown away when I saw this. These were, of course, tabloid editions, similar to Marvel's Treasury editions, but they weren't called Treasuries. Anyway, I have this, and of course, I have a decent tabloid and Treasury collection as well. It was, to say the least, an interesting little piece for Superman history. And at the time, as a kid, obviously a Superman fan, but I was also a Muhammad Ali fan, so I was torn. So, also out at the time, debuting in 1978, the world's greatest superheroes syndicated newspaper strip, which I didn't even get in my town. Dang it. Anyway, by Martin Pascoe, George Tuska, and Vinnie Coletta. I will reserve a comment on those two, but we're responsible for the art. It was Superman centric, but it was also the other superheroes involved as well, Justice League and such. And yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Again, I wish we'd gotten that strip down our way, but there are compilations, I do believe. Another great tabloid edition, and I just love it. This is fantastic here. Superman versus Shazam, a.k.a. Superman versus Captain Marvel, the real deal Captain Marvel, with some spiffy Rich Buckler art. I love this. This is, again, one of the few DC tabloids of the time that was not a reprint. A 72-page super action novel when Earths collide. Yes, Earth 1 and Earth S colliding there. But again, I love this comic. Gotta love a slug out between the big red S and the big red cheese. Or the big blue banana and the big red cheese, however they used to like to say it. Another event in Superman's life with regards to comics, of course, was the wedding of the Golden Age, the Earth 2, Superman and Lois Lane. Clark Kent and Lois get married in this landmark 40th anniversary issue. Superman takes a wife with a great Garcia Lopez, Dick Giordano cover. Also, another Garcia Lopez cover, the debut of DC Comics Presents. This case, of course, issue number 1, featuring Superman teaming up with the Flash. This will be a new title, an ongoing title that would last 90-something issues and a couple of annuals, where Superman would team up with various other DC heroes. And a big shout out, and this one's dedicated to, and a big shout out to the great J-Man, because we did a show on this not too far back, fairly recently, I should say. A live stream about a lot of the team-up books, and my buddy J-Man joined me on this one about DC Comics Presents, and he has got almost all the issues, I think. So shout out to you, buddy. An interesting publication, The Last Son of Krypton, is a novel, an exciting original story written by Elliot S. Magan, a writer of Superman at the time. They used this cover, and they had pictures from the upcoming film Superman the movie. This came out much before The film actually did, but it used that cover. They couldn't do a straight novelization of the film for reasons too complicated to go into here. But we got this, and then years later, another one called Miracle Monday by Elliot Maggin. This is a great book. It's been a while since I've read it, but I remember really enjoying it back when it came out. So if you could ever snag this somewhere and you want to read a cool Superman story, there you go. Staying in the realms of books for a while here, actually, the official Superman quiz book, Test Your Superman Savvy by Bruce Nash. And I bet he had a lot of help from E. Nelson Bridwell, illustrated with authentic Superman comic book cartoons. Well, that's kind of a clunky way to say. I'm not still staying with books. We have this one. I think I still have this one somewhere. Tempo Books put out this little nifty little, probably, I believe, if I remember correctly, a black and white reprints, abridged reprints from World's Finest, some Silver Age World's Finest comics. And then we have the Great Superman book by Michael Fleischer. I was always surprised that Michael Fleischer, the guy who wrote those crazy Spectre stories with Jim Aparo and the dark brooding Jonah Hex stories, a lot of the Jonah Hex stories in the 70s, and Ghost Rider and other things, writing a Superman book, but it's the same feller. And I never got this when it first came out. I wish I had. I always wanted it. I remember seeing it in the bookstore quite often. Also on bookshelves, this was the World's Greatest Superheroes newspaper strip, abridged and cut up into small paperback form. There's another Garcia Lopez cover. He was quite omnipresent at the time for Superman, rightly so. He was a great artist. Famous first editions. Superman #1. This is, of course, another tabloid. This was pretty much a straight up replica, although an enlarged replica of Superman #1. What you're seeing there, of course, is the cardboard, staple cover, cardstock cover for the replica. If you take that off, it looks just like a Superman #1, just an enlarged version, which has confounded a few people, and was even used as a counterfeit by some nefarious schemers in the 70s. And yet another tabloid with Superman the Movie Collector's Album. I still have this. I have that other one we just showed as well. Of course, I have a lot of tabloids. And again, just a bit of a souvenir book for the film, but of course it was done in DC tabloid format. And of course, in December of 1978, I went to see this movie for the first of 18 times at the theater, and it blew me away every single time. I love Superman the movie, but many of us do. It is just magnificent. And again, I highly recommend this issue of Back Issue Magazine. There were a lot of other collectibles and things like that that this issue talks about, that you can read about, and a lot of other articles that are just, if you're a fan of Superman the movie and the Donner stuff, you got to take a look at it. As you can see here, there was a lot of other stuff. That was just sort of a little DC timeline thing. Mags, and I won't show the old thing. You can pick up a digital if you don't want to buy the issue, although it's great to have. That Superman movie soundtrack. I had this one, by the way. My God. Yep, and it folded out like this. This was beautiful. Great stuff by John Williams. Music was masterful. But you can see this issue. You can pick up this issue. Oh, another thing I had, yes, the Superman trading cards. I had them all. I wish I still did. They had this, just a little tease, a little look at some of the other, a Viewmaster, an Amigo, and a Lunchbox. A little bit of a look at some of the other cool stuff that was available back then for the time, the 40th anniversary, Superman 78, but 1978. And what a year it was for the world's greatest superhero. I love Superman, the Man of Steel, the real deal one anyway. I love Golden and Silver and Bronze Age. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Just a little bit of a look at some Superman coolness from his greatest year, in my opinion, 1978. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've not been here before, I hope you will like and subscribe. And if you have not seen any of my other Spinner Rack Time Machine videos, there's a whole playlist. And there's a link in my description below. Also a link to tomorrow's publications where you can not only get that that mag right there, Back Issue Magazine, but you can find all their other wonderful books about comics history, their other mags, Jack Kirby Collector, Alter Ego Magazine by Roy Thomas. And again, I love Back Issue Magazine. And, if you just want to read them, you can even, you get a free digital copy when you buy one, or you could just buy it digital if you so choose. Anyway, not shilling for them. I honestly love them and buy all their products. And so I'm just excited about them. So that's always big shout out, John Morrow, Michael Urey for this great magazine Back Issue, Roy Thomas, and all those great people over there. So in other words, if you see this, guys, not stealing your thunder, just a legitimate fan, and I love what you do, and thank you for what you do. And thank you for watching this video. And hey, welcome, and I'll see you on the next video. Clobber on, clobberers, and big shout out to my wonderful first officer, Raquel Briggs, for my wonderful intro, outro. Thank you. And I should press the button for it. Right, there we go. I'm a very sloppy video maker. Take care, everyone. Clobber on.